Welcome back to the Vike Night podcast, where there is a lot going on in Vikings territory. This is the place where we give you recaps, reviews, roster news, awards, and takes on our favorite team, the Minnesota Vikings.
Skol, baby.
Skol, yes. And this week's episode, as well as next week's, are going to be a little bit different than how we've done them so far. This week, I'm here with Phil to recap the preseason game versus the Titans and start going over all this roster news that we have for you. Lucas is out sick today, so fellow Skolger, speedy recovery to you.
Wishing our boy all the best.
Very hopeful that he will be back for next week's episode because we will have so much to talk about once we get to that point with
That's for sure.
53-man roster cuts that will be finalized tomorrow. We film these on Mondays, so a lot has happened. A lot is about to happen. And we're looking ahead to the regular season. So with that, we also have some breaking news. As of, 40 minutes ago, Mekhi Blackmon has been traded to the Colts for a 2026 sixth-round pick. I know.
I love
Wow.
Mekhi. I thought he was a good guy. I was rooting for him.
Well, yeah, and it sucks because he was hurt, of course.
Right. He's coming off that ACL tear from last year. But since then, he's kind of been running with the 2s and the 3s. And, traded to the Colts for a sixth-round pick, which we will be getting into towards the end after our game recap here.
Yes. Yes. I've been chomping at the bit to get to all this roster news. Like I said, so much has happened since we last filmed. And there's going to be a lot of significant changes to talk about as the week goes on. But before we get into all of that, let's start with a recap from Phil of the last preseason game of this year.
Yeah, so game 3 is in the books, and with that, the preseason as well, with the Vikings falling 23-13 to the Tennessee Titans last Friday. We saw one quarter of play in each half from Brett Rippon and Max Brosmer, and it was Brosmer receiving the start and seemingly making the most out of his opportunity. In this game, he finished 15 for 23, throwing for 161, 1 touchdown, and a QBR of 100.1. So lots of good things to see from Max in this game. In that first half, we did see Cam Ward and most of Tennessee's starters playing into the second quarter. I thought our 2s and 3s played pretty good against them. So in the second quarter, we had Brett Rippon stepping in. Had a play towards the end of that where he threw an interception, and they actually marched out Max Brosmer, I believe, towards the end of that. And I thought they were benching Rippon, saw enough from him that day. But apparently KOC said in the post-game presser that he was being evaluated for a concussion, which is why we saw Rippon come back in that fourth quarter. But overall, the day for Rippon was not nearly the day that Brosmer had. He played the fourth quarter, finishing the game 7 for 14, threw for 62 yards. He had that INT and earned a final QBR of just 32.4. So not a whole lot of good things to see from Rippon there. And yeah, that's
partly what led to a decision we'll get to in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But Phil, even with that second preseason loss, what positive things did you take? I mean, once again, they played more starters than we did.
Right.
You know.
The thing is, this was a much more watchable game than last week's game against the Patriots, I thought. Despite the loss, there was good things to see on both sides of the ball. We got to see Brosmer kind of continue that campaign towards earning that quarterback 3 spot. As I said, I thought Rippon played okay in the second quarter, but he just completely unraveled in the fourth. I thought he looked uncomfortable and just not sure of himself, which, is unfortunate because he has more familiar He's just more familiar with Kevin O'Connell's system and whatnot, and Brosmer was the one that was helming it.
He was putting pressure on him.
Oh yeah,
Mad Max, for sure.
Mad Max has been ever since game 1 here, and he kind of sealed the deal in this last game. I think KOC saw all he needed to from Brett, hence why he was released just a few days ago. So And I think that second and third team defense held their own for the most part, which was good to see. But, overall, I'm not trying to dissect this game too heavily. It was our 2s and 3s going against their 1s for most of that first half. And I did see some good things from both sides. But, it was a good game to watch. I guess.
And I mean, the way I think of preseason games is that a lot of times at least in recent years, we lose them more than we win them. But then we go on to have seasons that look totally different in a positive way.
Exactly. You can't equate anything from the preseason to what will happen in the regular season. So I think there's plenty of promising performances to look at. And yeah, I think, preseason's in the book, so let's gear up for week 1 here.
Yeah, this is exciting, and I'm going to do my best with awards today in Luke's absence. Not the same, but we'll start with the Pride of Valhalla award. This is given to a player who, let's see, they didn't necessarily do amazing. Maybe they did. But more than anything, something about them stood out in a positive way.
Embodied what it means to be a Viking.
That's right. The toughness, the relentless, all that.
Exactly.
Okay, so why don't you start with your Pride of Valhalla? I actually have one today.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear it.
We will start with you, though. What is your offensive Pride of Valhalla award?
All right, so my offensive award for this game, we're going to give it to Deshaun Jones, wide receiver. He caught all 4 of his passes for 41 yards, and overall, I'm giving him this award because it was just nice to see a receiver with 0 drops. He did his job. It's a low bar, but given what we've seen and heard, it was nice to just see a wide receiver be consistent in these games. And there's also Dante Fleming, who I could have given this to. I believe he had that beautiful catch that was like a 40-yard pass from Brosmer.
Dante, 36-yard, yep.
Yep. And I liked way more than what we saw with our wide receivers this game than last week. So that would be my offensive award. Alaana, who do you have for your offensive award?
For anyone who has listened to us thus far, I think it's pretty obvious. I kind of sound like a broken record, but it's totally deserved. Mad Max Brosmer.
Absolutely. Who else?
Yes, the spirit of the proud state of Minnesota out there on the field. And Lucas is not here to defend himself today, but we have a theory about why he is sick, right?
I have a theory, guys. I think Lucas is sick to his stomach with that abysmal Brosmer take last week where he gave his doggone it award to Max Brosmer. And in a game where he had receivers dropping passes and whatnot, and now you have this game where his receivers aren't dropping passes. He gets the touchdown. He had the most yardage, QBR over 100. And as we'll get to in a little bit, he has cemented himself into that QB3 spot. So I think Lucas is a little bit ashamed of his takes here.
It hurts him. His burning take is burning him right now.
So you know what? We're expecting a formal apology letter next week when he returns, hopefully, and hopefully he'll set that straight.
Yeah, because Brosmer, he played the first quarter well. Third quarter, like we mentioned, that 36-yard pass to Dante Fleming, 21-yard touchdown to, who is it, tight end Bryson Nesbitt?
Yes.
Yeah, he absolutely has my Pride Award for proving himself to be worthy on the team. I think every game people were saying, it's not going to keep going.
Right.
He's just, everyone wants him to make it, but he's not. But we love to see it. He's making the final team. He's able to come in and get something going in a game. That's fun to see. Hopefully we don't have to see too much of him because we have J.J. McCarthy and another new quarterback. We will get to that. But let's move on to our Pride of Valhalla defensive award, Phil.
Yeah, so real quick on defense, my Pride Award this week, I'm going to be giving it to Jay Ward. Safety. He was flying around the field, I saw when I was watching it back. He made some nice tackles, including a really nice TFL on a running back where he just seemingly picked him up, slammed him into the ground. It was a clean play, but it was just a really nice physical, exploding up the middle type deal that I don't know. I love to see it. Jay Ward's kind of been all around this preseason, making plays flying around there. So yeah, great speed, great physicality, and Jay Ward, he is getting my Pride Award this week.
Yeah, there's a lot of promise there, I think.
Absolutely.
A quick defensive Pride Award from me, just young linemen in general.
Okay.
I'm kind of taking this idea from different takes I've seen in different Vikings communities, but I have to agree with everyone saying this about these linemen. It's fun to see them produce some of these cool moments. We've got Elijah Williams in the Titans game. Big ol' hit on a kick return coverage. Levi Drake Rodriguez, and he was a rookie last year, right?
Elijah Williams?
Or Levi
Drake Rodriguez, that's right. He was, I believe we picked him in the 6th round.
Okay,
last year.
He had a sack. And then someone, I believe you talked about last week, Tyrion Ingram Dawkins. Lord
That's right.
Tyrion.
Absolutely.
Deflected a pass at the line.
Love to see it.
Continuing to prove you right in your selection of your Pride Awards.
That's right. He's going to have a lot of work ahead for him this season, too, which I don't want to keep teasing what we're going to get into with this roster.
We
I
keep
just can't
mentioning
wait
it.
to,
Yeah.
I know, but you will hear from TID this year for sure.
TID, the Lord Tyrion. Doggone it Awards. This is the opposite of our Pride of Valhalla Awards. Someone just stood out to us for maybe not the greatest reasons. They don't totally suck, but they suck enough to earn this award.
Right.
Mine, I'm nominating myself because I didn't have one. But I just knew you'd be able to cover this.
Yeah, so, my offensively, doggone it's going to be going to Brett Rippin-Ass. He kind of totally unraveled in the 4th quarter, which I think I mentioned earlier. I was telling Lucas after the game, his release just looked so slow and terrible. He was overthrowing wide receivers.
Almost like he's in his head.
Yeah, well, he's and it looked like that on the broadcast too. When he's walking off, he kind of just looked defeated, not sure of himself.
Like he knew what was going to come out of this.
Most likely, yes. He's sailing receivers, not really moving the rock well. It's unfortunate, but
Wish him all the best.
Wish him all the best, but at the end of the day, I am happy he's not on our team anymore because I just don't think he has what it takes in this system. And then you don't have a defensive doggone it award, is
no,
that right?
I'll just give myself 2 doggone it awards, I guess.
Okay, there's another one then. For my defensive doggone it, we are going with Zamiah Vaughn, which I actually mentioned last week as a potential pride that I was going to give. But, man, he absolutely clowned himself on a missed tackle from Van Jefferson. I believe it was a quick slant or something to the sideline, and he just lost his balance. It looked really ugly on the replay. It resulted in a 65-yard touchdown where he broke free. And, it was another pretty close game. Within 10 points. So, you take that touchdown off the board, they're within 3. And when Brosmer, or should I say Rippin, getting the ball back in those last 2 minutes, I think that they would actually have dialed up some more plays for him or just had more had it been not a 2-score game. So Zamiah Vaughn kind of dropping the ball there with a really ugly missed tackle. So should we kick it over then to mystery awards? Some
quick mystery awards?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's see. Anyone who doesn't remember what these are, usually it's you and Lucas picking. Right. You come up with your own award. Other person has to guess based on the name who gets the award. But I have one for you today in Luke's absence. Do you want to go first or should I go first?
Yeah, the floor is yours.
Okay. I'm calling mine the Stone Cold Chiller Award. Enough said.
Cold Chiller Award. I don't get any hints or
anything. None.
Okay.
Not even in the word chiller? Okay. I tried not to be too obvious.
Right.
Maybe that was my problem.
This is tough for me because I really do not have any clue about this one. Was it Ryan Wright for not
Very
up the
close. So
Okay.
close. I'm giving this one to the chiller Will the Thriller,
Oh, Will the Thrill.
because after that hold mistake, he stayed calm, cool, collected, and made his next kick.
Heck yes.
And honestly, if there's any chance that he would be listening to this, like the 0.0005%.
Hey. Come on now.
If he hears this within the next couple weeks, I just want him to know we believe in him. We're here to hype him up. We support him. We support all his kicks. We have full faith in you.
Will the Thrill coming?
You're
I will
stone
say
cold
that
chiller.
every time Will Reichard bangs in a field goal, Lucas and I are obligated to pump 3 push-ups for each time. So last week, I believe he had those kicked 4 for 4. So 12 push-ups, got a good little workout in. But today or last game, I believe he banged in 2.
Yes.
Missed the one from the hold from Oscar Chapman. Yeah. So my mystery award, I'm going to be going into the Fizzled Thunder Award.
I think I know exactly who this is.
Oh boy.
I know exactly who this is. First off, based on our first full episode with Lucas, I believe he had the Thunder from Down Under award of a certain
Indeed.
Australian.
Indeed.
And then, as we just talked about, that little hold dilemma. Based on those 2 things, I'm going to say this has to be Oscar Chapman.
It is Oscar Chapman. Probably could have thought of a more, I don't know, obscure name maybe for this, so you wouldn't get it. But yeah,
I probably wouldn't have got it otherwise.
yeah. Well, the thing is this was a very tight race in our punting competition between Ryan Wright and Oscar Chapman. We were kind of hearing all off season that it was kind of neck and neck between the two. And really all it takes in a game like this is one bobbled snap, which is exactly what happened with Oscar Chapman fumbling the hold for Will Reichard, ended up missing it wide left, I believe. And yeah, he was waived, I believe, yesterday. So the Fizzled Thunder Award, I'm sorry, Oscar, you had it right there. And you know what?
It was
Shit
fun while it
happens.
lasted.
Yep, it was fun while it lasted. So
But you
Now
mentioned
let's get-
waivers.
waivers, yes.
Yes.
So yes, they put him on waivers. He's actually qualifies as an international pathway player, which means that they might actually be able to make a spot for him on the practice squad without actually taking up one of their.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
there's
didn't
kind
know
of
that.
a little loophole type deal. So Oscar still could be around, but
Okay.
I say let's get into the real meat and potatoes here.
Yes,
with
absolutely.
Our roster news. If you want to kick us off here and give us a little rundown on what we're doing.
Yes. Well, the Vikings, they currently have 78 players on the roster. From this recording right now, they have approximately 20 hours to finalize their official 53-man roster. So we are on alert. We are watching.
That's right.
Yes, we're making sure we
We're
notice
locked in.
everything that happens. So that leaves 25 players still on the chopping block as of right now. Handful of guys have already been waived, like you mentioned. But anyway, Brett Rippon's contract, like we mentioned, has been terminated. New QB has joined the team in Carson Wentz.
That's right, Gingy boy.
Oh my gosh, I kind of wasn't expecting that, but we'll get to it in a moment. Other than that, the Vikings made a couple huge trades that we absolutely have to talk about. So let's start with the most interesting, somewhat surprising move of last week. On Wednesday, the Vikings traded defensive tackle Harrison Phillips to the New York Jets.
That's right.
We received a 2026 and 2027 sixth round pick, while we sent a 2027 seventh round pick to New York as well. This frees up around $3.5 million in cap space in what is a seemingly precursor move to a huge significant move.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, Phil. That couldn't have been easy for the Vikings to trade a guy who's given so much to the organization, so much back to the communities he's a part of, all around good player, all around good culture guy. Just
Right.
really solid dude. And for them to do this, make this decision, what does that mean?
Well, There's a lot we can take away from it. First of all, this is a guy who has never missed a game in his 3 seasons with Minnesota. He's suited up for 53 games and recorded 207 tackles, 6.5 sacks, 7 TFLs, and 2 fumble recoveries.
Very reliable.
Absolutely, and he's also a team captain who greatly helped bolster last year's defensive line and finishing second in run defense. So this is, not a guy that we let go of lightly. And as KOC said in his presser, there's a lot of thought that goes into moves like this. Gave his props to Harrison and whatnot, but it was kind of a surprising move for sure.
Yeah.
That not a lot of people saw coming. You have Vikings pundits that did not have this on the radar for a potential move that they would make. So in doing so, you have to imagine that Brian Flores is pleased with his interior depth on that line. We have Jalen Redmond, who would be next in line, former UFL player who turned heads last year stepping in and did a very good job. So I'm very excited to see what Jalen Redmond will do in his place. But we also have our guy, Lord Tyrion. Lord Tyrion, indeed. We have seen some great things from Dawkins in preseason and training camp. I had him as my Pride Award last week, so I'm very excited to see what he has in the tank for this season. And as I said, Redmond kind of proved himself last year as a highly effective piece on that D line. So they got guys to replace Phillips. It's just kind of a unexpected move.
Yeah,
that is most likely leading into something much larger of a signing. So I guess we will get into quarterback news then.
Yes, quarterback news and another trade to talk about. So after a shaky training camp from Sam Howell, he's been traded to the Philadelphia Eagles, with the Vikings also sending a 2027 sixth pick. Yes, and receiving a 2026 fifth round pick and a 2027 seventh rounder. Now, you have here to keep that fifth round pick in mind.
Yes, keep that fifth round pick in mind.
All right, will do. So following this move, one quarterback gone, we need another one. A new ginger quarterback, Phil. We went from Sam Darnold to Carson Wentz. He kind of has a reputation, right?
He does have a reputation. He led the Eagles in the 2017 season to the Super Bowl before getting injured in the postseason. That's where you saw Nick Foles lead them to their first ring. Since then, he's kind of bounced around the league quite a bit.
Been a bit of a journeyman quarterback now.
Absolutely, and I believe he was kind of holding out to see if he could have a quarterback one spot or if a team would sign him as a starter. Since that hasn't come to fruition, he is now our backup,
yes, presumably. $1.2 million veteran league minimum deal. Let's see. We think he's going to be QB2. Assumingly,
he will be QB2.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. He's locked into QB2, I believe.
Unless some
he has
crazy
the experience. I mean, if Brosmer
happen.
just keeps lighting it up, throwing lasers, who knows what can happen. But it presumably Carson Wentz will be our quarterback to enter the season.
And I have to be honest with you, I didn't see this coming. I'm sure a lot of people did, but I didn't, because in my head, the past week before that was announced, I was thinking receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So I was already surprised at the Harrison Phillips deal, but then I thought, okay, yeah, we're receiver. So it wasn't in my head at all that we would have Carson Wentz.
Right. Well, I was working actually, and Lucas, informed me about the Harrison Phillips trade, which I was quite frankly shocked by. But the more I thought about it, I was thinking this has to be for either a QB or a receiver. In my mind, they still have things to sort out in that QB room, and while that is seemingly figured out for the time being, with 3 quarterbacks on the roster with McCarthy, Brosmer, and Wentz, I believe there's plenty to be desired in the wide receiver room, which is
Oh, yeah.
where I think things get spicy.
And another thing about Wentz, he's a familiar face around here, you could say, from his NDSU days.
Right.
Upper
He grew
Plains,
up a Vikings
yeah.
fan.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I'd love to hear.
We love that.
For sure.
With all of this in mind, there's been numerous reports coming in that the Vikings have been calling around the league in regards to acquiring another receiver. Last episode, I know we mentioned a few free agents as a possibility, but we did not talk about I've got a Thielen.
Oh.
The home state guy himself, Vikings legend Adam Thielen. His name has been going around since late last week. Carolina and Minnesota reportedly at odds. Some saying that the Panthers are asking for a lot or a third-round pick to be more specific as compensation.
Right.
Let's see. Ian Rappaport said today on Pat McAfee's show that he, quote, would not be surprised if a deal gets done, and that they are still in active discussions as of right now that we know of.
Yeah.
You'll also see that Vikings beat writer Ben Gosling.
Ben Gessling, yeah.
Ben Gessling.
So this is something I plugged in, he's kind of the one that mentioned, they acquire that 5th round pick from trading away Sam Howell. That gives them more capital to do something in a potential Thielen trade. And so, as he says in this quote, he thinks it matters in this. There's a lot of interest in doing it. And he thinks that Thielen is open to the idea and excited about the idea, which I would have to believe that he would be too. So, very interesting type deal there with them getting that 5th pick. That gives them way more capital to try and do something in terms of acquiring a receiver. Should it be Thielen or somebody else?
Right. And I think we were more so thinking Thielen, but now with this breaking news as of tonight, maybe more than Thielen. Maybe
Could
someone totally separate from Thielen.
Right.
But my first thoughts when I started seeing all this circulating, is this just a pipe dream? Getting Adam Thielen back that we're jumping the gun over because we love him. I mean, I know there's more reports of it actually being a possibility.
Right.
But I don't know. My first thought is this just too good to be true? Because there's so much excitement for him to possibly return home. Perfect situation. We need another receiver. He might want to come home before retirement, if possible. He's a guy that's so connected to Minnesota that the past couple years he's practiced with J.J. McCarthy.
Yes, he has. There's numerous off-season workout videos you can find of Thielen when he comes back to Minnesota working out with McCarthy and even Jefferson and some other Vikings that are there with him. And that's something that he does not really need to do, but he's still kind of invested in what's going on in the team and helping us out. And
you don't really see that ever that I know of.
Not often.
Maybe more than I think, but that's pretty special.
Right.
What else makes him coming back to play in purple the ideal situation?
So there's a lot in my mind that makes it an ideal situation. I think the number one thing is that he's familiar with Kevin O'Connell's offense. He spent that entire 2022 year with us, and Kevin O'Connell's first year kind of went on a magic carpet ride of a season with Kirko there. And he's an experienced vet who, he won't need much, if not any ramp up time.
Right. Come
week 1. So that's kind of a guy you can plug in and expect to be an immediate contributor, which is huge. As you mentioned, he's thrown with McCarthy in the last 2 off seasons, which has to count for something in my mind in terms of chemistry.
Right.
And, speaking of that, he has deep connections with guys that are still in that locker room. Mm-hmm. And so he essentially, mentored Justin Jefferson in his most formative years. And you already know that he'd just be an excellent locker room presence.
And I think, too, he would be so excited. Not to say he's not excited 100%. To start his Panthers season, if that's what happens. But I think there would be an extra fire for him coming back to our team.
100%. And I actually have that in here. But, with the Justin Jefferson being his mentor and whatnot, on the field, he's a highly dependable option in short yardage, mid to short yardage situations, and in the red zone. This is a guy who catches balls consistently, gets to his spot, and while he doesn't have crazy numbers in terms of yards after the catch, you can depend on him to be there and to do his job. And that's something that we need considering all the drops we've been seeing in these first three preseason games. He's just, at the end of the day, he's a guy that rarely makes mistakes. And, you know, as this show goes on, you learn that I myself am a big storyline type guy. I like to look around at storylines and not just the situations, but what can make a player play even harder than just the game that's
outside
in front of them.
Yeah.
Right. And I think the story this time around is a potential last hurrah for a hometown hero. And with that, I think we could see another late resurgence in production given all he has to play for and his short time left in the league. In his first year with Carolina, just 2 years ago, Thielen recorded his first 1,000-yard receiver. So, yeah, one thing, though, I will mention after Adam Thielen is that today, Jacoby Myers has requested a trade out of Las Vegas.
Interesting.
Which is another thing to keep an eye on, considering Las Vegas earlier today also signed wide receiver Amari Cooper.
And Kenny Pickett.
Well,
he was traded, right? Traded to the Raiders.
Right. So it's, you know, they're accumulating more wide receiver depth. They have Jacoby Myers asking to be traded out of there. He produced a lot last season, did some great things there in Vegas. I think that would be another excellent piece for the Vikings to pick up should the Adam Thielen situation fall through. So there's a lot of names out there to choose from. And real quick, as we mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, Mekhi Blackmon today, just an hour ago, was traded to the Indianapolis Colts for a 2026 sixth-round pick. And what I'm reading out of all of this is that we're fastly starting to accumulate picks for next year's draft. And you can't imagine Kwesi's going to be picking on every one of those. So in my mind, there's something larger brewing, as we obviously have said. And there could be an even bigger name than Adam Thielen, such as a Jacoby Myers or someone we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, maybe Adam Thielen plus even. Probably not. I mean, again, going back to my pipe dream of having Adam Thielen on the team.
There's not a lot of room past, once you get past like Ty Felton and stuff like that. And Ty Felton's not really necessarily done anything yet. So, I mean, yeah, the more the merrier, I would say. But, hey, I mean, with us trading away a cornerback, that means my guy, Dwight Nudie McGlothern, is going to see way more playing time, and you all will see why I'm such a Nudie fan. So I can't wait for that to come to fruition. But, yeah, a lot to be looking forward to here, Alaana, with 53-man cuts coming in less than 24 hours here.
And I think your speculation is right, that something big is going to happen that we can't foresee right now because it's Kwesi and the Vikings, and they do these incredible moves when no one's seemingly getting right what they're going to do.
Hey, he's the king of free agency in my mind. Kwesi has done a fantastic job. And, I hope that he doesn't surrender a third-round pick for Adam Thielen as much as I would like to see him come home.
Right.
I don't know what Carolina's GM thinks, like if they're getting the 2022 version of Kwesi where we're trading in division to get Lewis Seen. He's learned a lot since then, and I can tell you right now that Kwesi is not going to be giving up a third-round pick for a 35-year-old receiver as much as I love Adam Thielen.
No, it has to click and make sense.
Absolutely.
It's not, dare I say, fan service.
Right.
Just to bring him back here.
But I think it does click and make sense, even though we are Vikings fans and he is a certified Viking boy. It would make a lot of sense and benefit the team greatly, I believe, if they were to bring in Thielen as the wide receiver 2 for 3 weeks, have him be wide receiver 3 for the remainder of the season. That's very exciting to me.
Yeah, and we'll see. So this week, we're looking forward to finding out who makes that final roster. Tomorrow, we're going to know so much more information than we do right now.
A lot of this stuff might be voided by tomorrow, but you know what? We're here to give you guys our takes.
Yes. So
We
we're
could
looking
be proven
forward
right,
to it.
too. We could be seeing some.
True.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe we should have more faith in ourselves. But that's what we're looking forward to for this next episode. All these new roster changes. Hopefully we'll have Lucas back.
Prayers up.
Prayers up, Lucas.
Get back soon.
Please. So what else are we looking forward to? I mean, not to talk about it too much. That first regular season week, seeing J.J. McCarthy start his first regular season game, our insane improved O-line. Hopefully giving him some room to work with. The J.J. to J.J. connection, right?
Absolutely.
Overall, just enjoying all the fun that comes with the real deal, the real regular season starting.
It's the real deal, and I have a lot of good feelings. I feel great about this year, which maybe I should be not feeling great because I'm feeling great, you know?
No, I think ride that feeling as long as possible because this is the Vikings we're talking about.
That's right. So, yeah, hopefully, you will see us next week where we're breaking down that 53-man roster, giving you a little preview from week looking forward to week 1 with the Chicago Bears.
The wait continues until September 8th when the Minnesota Vikings start their regular season on Monday Night Football at Old Soldier Field. We still got that one episode before then, though.
That's right.
Like we've mentioned a bunch of times today, a lot of stuff to be discussed next time. So I think that's it for this Vike Night episode. Signing off, I'm Alaana.
I'm Phil.
Skol.
Skol, baby.
Skol.
Thanks for tuning in. Smash that like button.